They always tell on this.
Yeah, like in 5 minutes.
Right when you go to the courtroom.
Actually-
we've got a settlement, sir.
A judge today changed next week to a non-jury trial, but we're not sure he has the authority to do that, so.
Oh, neat. I didn't know they could do that.
Yeah, exactly. Me neither.
First time for everything?
It's been a Democrat.
Civil matters.
Yeah.
Nothing shady going on there.
Definitely.
I don't like the way this is gonna turn out. I'll just decide.
Yeah.
Judge said,
Prosecutor, now those who got hurt.
they released them,
And their head shake.
and we're like, not normally, yeah, it happens.
That's Iowa.
We have a hearing tomorrow. For a company that's
For you or the others?
it would be happy. It's, the judge can be happy, the lawyers are not happy.
I'm on.
Had 2 trials in Austin.
Let's call this meeting to order. Welcome here to Brave your way into the clouds. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approve agenda, but we're going to scrap under public hearing A and B, so please amend your.
Motion to approve the agenda as amended. Second.
Is Jennifer? She's on. Jennifer? Josh?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Jake, or not Jake, Zach? I just promoted you to the police chief.
All right.
All right.
That's coming up later.
Let's go with Zach. for the
Give me a
time.
heads up.
Let's go with the Zach. for the time being.
Monday, we're rolling out the Cops Kids and Kindness. I think I've talked about that. You guys have any
Alright.
questions about that? But
Yeah.
Monday, we're rolling that out at the elementary school, see how that goes. If things go well, we may bump it up. See if we can grab those kids, as well. So we're really excited about that. Applications again, we put something out, ending again, tomorrow. We actually have got a few, so I'm hopeful we'll be able to test with the application that we have.
Where would I pick up your application?
I can email it. How about that? Please work on your push-ups and stuff if you want.
I don't make any time, so we're done.
Look my age.
Yeah, it goes by age, so
It's 50 yet, 2.5.
you might not have to do very many. That's all I got. Thanks.
All righty, thank you. Jeffrey,
Fire department side, we've got a fireman that got certified firefighter 1. He challenged it all the way through the course, so he didn't take the instructor training. He actually self-studied and challenged all the tests and everything that was Wyatt clerk. So he got his certification, so he's a certified firefighter 1.
Good
Anything else?
job.
As far as anything else on the fire side, the grant application process is opened up, so we're working on that. On the code side, as you all know, it snowed. I gave everybody an extra 48 hours on getting their snow removed because of the amount and the extreme cold weather. So yesterday morning at 8 o'clock, anybody that hadn't shoveled their sidewalk got a greeting card with $50 ticket attached to it. I sent it to the property owners and the real estate people. There's 2 or 3 of our houses that are sitting empty for sale. So the realtors are trying to get those cleaned up. We made it so that it would sting a little bit, but it wouldn't be prohibitive. It also says on the bottom of the ticket that the fines will double every 48 hours if you don't make that clean up. Somebody's out there trying. I'm letting them try. So we had a few businesses up on the square that like they didn't, even with the additional 40 hours, making attempts. So we have to do it. So other than that, everything's going pretty good.
Is that anything on for the interest center?
Jennifer.
Yeah, I am. I don't know if Ashley sent out our report from our meeting this past week, but I'll just give you an update on the financials and kind of what they've been working on. So for the year, from the report that we got from the director, it looks like they came in positive around $80,000 net income for the year. So they had a pretty good year despite some of the challenges that they had with doing some of the projects there out front. Their new, I want to say, like check-in system that they're going to try out. It's a keypad where you have to dial or like type in a 4-digit code to sign in and sign out. It also tells you on that pad when your membership is coming due or when it expires, so that it's a reminder for you to pay. That is about complete. Otherwise, that's really all I have for an update on that.
Who is that system through?
Kyle Miller is the person's name that is working on it.
Is that just at the front desk they do that?
It'll be like a pad at the front desk, yes, that they would type in their code to sign in and sign out.
How will people get their code number to put in the pad?
I don't know the answer to that question yet. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just because
Does everybody have a unique number, or is it just one number for the month?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I was only shown at the meeting kind of how it worked, which I would assume that they're going to be assigned a number per membership because then it's tied to how many days they have left.
Okay.
Is there a penalty for using someone else's code?
I don't know that she's gotten that far yet. They're still trying to get the actual application finished up. But I would certainly hope so.
Maybe by the next meeting you'll have, or meeting or two, you'll have another.
Yep.
I'd like to see
I
this
have a question for
system.
Jennifer, is this new system tied in with the possibility of going 24/7?
So we talked about that after some of the emails that came in over the weekend and some other communication in the Bloomfield chat. It's more than just a keypad system to do 24-hour access. There is some insurance liability issues there. We talked about how we could make it possible. It's definitely not going to be something that's going to happen this year or the next year even. But we talked about the possibility of, starting off and maybe extending hours, making hours longer and working towards that. But there are things that have to be put into place and, for insurance wise, before we can just say we're going to be a 24-hour access gym.
I have another question. I think with the new job description for the director, she was switched from a salaried position, which she had for like 9 years, to a hourly position. And if so, who verifies her time cards?
Well, it's not me. She doesn't turn in a time card. I don't think. She keeps track of her hours, the same as I do at Main Street. I can ask that question.
But you're a salaried employee.
Correct.
You're not a time card. She is now. She wanted that changed, so we need to have somebody to be the recipient of her time card and verify the hours that she works because of that complicated employment agreement that was signed in November that nobody knew about till after it was done. That'll be addressed in the future. But I want somebody to be the recipient of her time card down there. So you guys talk about it at your next meeting, because it'll come up to the council one way or another pretty quick.
Is that it for that one?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead for Main Street.
I don't have a lot of big updates for Main Street. We're working on our investment drive still. They have a pretty hefty goal this year to bring in a little bit more money than they brought in last year. So they're going to be working hard to do that during our investment drive. We do have a couple new events this year based off some feedback that we got from our Main Street America visit back in May. So we'll be creating a new event here, hopefully this May, and then also a walking tour in June. I call it a walking tour, but it's a tour of the downtown, just to give people in the community or even people outside of the community an opportunity to see what we have here locally. So we'll be working on those two new initiatives here this year.
Okay, thank you. CGC? Okay, consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer.
Yes.
Proclamation declaring February 1st, 2024 is National Optimist Day, and we have Lyle Sterling here that would like to say a few words.
Thank you for giving me the time here and for agreeing to sign that proclamation. Optimist International and the Iowa District and the Bloomfield Optimist Club, our mission statement is, through hope and positive vision, we bring the best out in our youth, ourselves, and our community. And with the 37 members that we have now, we are full force, really trying to make that mission happen all the time. We've got lots of different activities that we participate in through the year that we call on our members to help us with. We try and sponsor fishing derbies. We haven't had much luck the last several years with the winter fishing derby because it hasn't been that cold. But, you know, maybe a couple days ago, we could have done it. Anyway, we have the annual Easter egg hunt that we sponsor. And this last year, City Council was willing to block off the street over by the elementary so that we could have the egg hunt on the practice field for the middle school football and the soccer things. That was a really good deal there. We recognized 10 seniors through the school year as our teens of the month. We have scholarships that we give at the end of the year. We participate in the Little League opening day, usually serving some sort of a little brunch to those kids. And we sponsor our high school Joy Club, in which there are, I think, somewhere in the area of 40 students that are part of that club this year. Right now, we're in the midst of getting students and students anyway from high school down through middle school to participate in our essay contest and oratorical contest. So we had a story in the paper last week about the essay contest, and now we'll soon see one about the oratorical contest. But those contests are sponsored by Optimist International, and a lot of money can be earned by those kids that win those competitions. We also do middle school concessions. We had a game tonight. We've got a couple more games to get through on, and our members sign up to help with that. We help sponsor the junior golf program that's out at the golf course. So we have lots of things that we do. And I'm really proud of our organization, that of all the people that we have and the willingness that they have to step up and help when we need them to help. So on that Optimist Day, it's my aim that that day we encourage everyone, not just our club members, but everyone in the community to perform some random act of kindness. Do that in a positive way. Make somebody smile because of what you have done for them. And probably there might be a smile that comes back to you. That'll be our big mission for that day. So with that, we're going to let that go. I would like to read the proclamation here. Whereas volunteers working with young people who are our joy of today and our hope for tomorrow are exuberant representatives of the potential to be reached and dreams to come true. They are also unbounded in their enthusiasm to use their own talent, skills, and hard work to make a difference in others' lives. And whereas members of the Optimist International will celebrate Optimist Day throughout the world, the first Thursday of every February, to promote their efforts in helping and recognizing the young people that make a difference in their communities.
and who will encourage a greater exchange of ideas between young people and adults. And whereas there are 2,400 Optimist Club with more than 70,000 members in Optimist International and Optimist members throughout the world that carry out more than 6,500 service projects that serve 6 million young people a year. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Chris Miller, Mayor of the City of Bloomfield, issue this proclamation declaring the first Thursday of every February as Optimist Day in the City of Bloomfield. May this day instill pride in our city's optimists for all of their accomplishments and for the impact that they truly make a difference in others' lives. All right. If you're ready, I'm going to sign this thing. Get in here. You remember? Sure. I've been over here. Yeah. I'd really like to promote some number to pins that like the governor gets.
And we are also
Move in.
always entertaining anyone to join the club.
It does the best of the Optimist Club.
Right.
Karen's a member as well.
You can look down and just-
Oh, you want me to ask? I can say it. I can hear.
Yes.
Interrupt, you'll forget how to spell his name.
All right. Thank you, sir. You bet. Do you need that one back? There you go. Thank you, guys.
I would add that Lyle does a great job as club president. She really does. Spends a lot of time
Appreciate your
keeping
time.
us all in line.
Okay. Not as sexy as Optimist Club, but we're gonna authorize myself to sign a gas public awareness statement as the court required by IUB inspections.
Move to authorize that. I'll second it.
Okay, Jake,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Josh.
Yes.
Approve and authorize the mayor to sign resolution to vacate Pony Farm Road.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, Jennifer,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jake.
Yes.
Approve the mayor's appointment of city attorney, which would be, I am appointing Harrison, Moreland, Weber, and Simlot PC.
Make that motion. We need a motion.
Yeah, we do.
Second.
Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jake.
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Josh.
Yes.
Approve council appointments for the following. I'm gonna read these all off and then you guys can decide what you want to do. Chief of Police,
That's me, right?
Yeah.
I gotta see if they have that. Yet. Zach Dunleavy, Mayor Pro Tem Earl Howard, City Clerk is Kyle McClure, Deputy City Clerk Tommy Joe Day, Fire Chief Jeff McClure, and the official newspapers of Bloomfield Democrat.
Move to approve those appointments.
I'll second.
Don,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Approve mayor's appointment of board and commission liaisons for the following. The library board would be Josh Husted, Chris Miller, Historic Preservation Commission, Earl Howard, Chris Miller, Future Center Commission, Don Walton, Chris Miller, Airport Commission.
We need to change that to
Jennifer.
Oh.
Motion commission. On here it's Jennifer.
Oh, wait,
He's written some
Jennifer, oh.
that way.
Yeah, I have.
and then Jennifer.
yes.
The one you're signing.
Oh,
The one you're signing.
Jennifer Cutler, Chris Miller, Airport Commission, Jake Bohai, Chris Miller, Main Street Board of Directors, Don Walton, Chris Miller, DCDC Board, Jake Bohai, Chris Miller, DCDC Revolving Loan Committee, Jake Bohai, Chris Miller, DCE 911 Board is Zach Dunleavy, Earl Howard, and the alternate would be Jake Bohai. Area 15 Regional Planning Commission, Jennifer Sparta, Chris Miller. DC Regional Service Agency, Josh Husted, Chris Miller. DC Public Safety is Earl Howard, Jake Bohai, Chris Miller. Annexation Committee, Jake Bohai, Chris Miller, Earl Howard.
Motion to approve. Assignments. Second.
Josh,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes,
Jake,
Yes.
Earl.
Yes.
Approve the mayor's appointment as the department liaisons. Water liaison Don Walton, wastewater liaison Don Walton, police liaison Earl Howard, fire liaison Jennifer Sparta, electric liaison Chris Miller, gas liaison Earl Howard, streets liaison Jennifer Sparta.
Motion to approve those assignments.
Second.
Earl,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes,
Approve mayor's appointment internal committees. Audit accounting liaison Don Walton, Josh Husted. EL distribution apprenticeship liaison Rusty Sands, Jake Bohai, Chris Miller. Union liaison Jennifer Sparter, Chris Miller. Safety committee liaison Rusty Sands, Jeff McClure, Chris Miller.
Move to approve those internal committee appointments.
Second.
Don,
Yeah.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes,
Earl,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Approve second quarter payment for fiscal year 24 to DC auditor in the amount of $51,232.50 for public safety expenses.
Nothing new with this. It's just a regular quarterly payment for October, November, December.
Motion to approve. Second.
Jake.
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes,
Earl,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Authorize the mayor to sign engineer services agreement with French Reniker for the north and west sidewalks project.
This is just the agreement that states that we're gonna hire them to do the design and what is needed for those two sides of the square.
Make a motion, we approve that agreement.
Second.
Josh,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer,
yes,
Discuss and decide on equipment purchases for fiscal year 25. We'll have tax rate information as possible auction for February 1st meeting.
Okay, so in your,
We're looking at this sheet.
yeah, I was gonna say, in your packet, there should be a list of requests from the departments. I did have a 2-hour meeting with Cindy Kendall to discuss the budget, and I got it all entered into the computer tentatively. She is working on a spreadsheet that we'll bring back on February 1st to talk through the property tax rate and what council wants to do in regards to that. But tonight, I kind of need some clarification and direction on what equipment that we should look to purchase this year. We don't have a lot of bigger trucks this year. You know, we had bucket trucks and some other stuff in the past. But if you look at the top, police car, it's in the budget already. I already have it figured. We are on a 1 every year rotation. So that's the only part of the capital improvement plan that is established. So we are looking to trade out another car. Streets, in the budget so far, I have 30,000, and of that 30 is backhoe repairs to one of the backhoes that we have. We need to put a little bit of money into it. A broom, a finisher, and a blade. The sewer department, I have 40,000 in there right now. That's to rebuild a pump. We usually put some money in there in case something happens and we need to fix it. We also put 15 aside in case we need to purchase one, or if something happens or we have an emergency. Number 5, lift station repair will cost $4,000. That's in the works now, but we won't actually see that bill till after July. Number 4, lift station spare pump will be about $6,000 for the estimate. And we do also have some maintenance that we would like to set aside $5,000 to go towards the existing jetter truck that we have. So those things are already figured in the budget as well. It's something that after meeting with the departments and Rusty, that I don't think we can get away with cutting any of that. So the next couple departments are stuff that I'll need council to kind of talk through and decide on. The park shop, we want to set a limit of no more than 75,000. That would be the first thing that we need to do. We're looking to put up a basic building where the house was that we tore down by the cemetery. And then Robbie's currently in the garage that's there in the cemetery, a couple stalls of it, and then the cemetery uses the other stall. So we would like to take the flags and the trailer that we currently store in the old law center back out to that little building, and then let the cemetery use the one stall. And so we're looking to do a no more than 75 for that. The meter reader has requested that maybe we sell the Volt if the Volt is worth anything and get a smaller truck. Obviously, this week kind of proved that we couldn't get it out and run around town and do some of the things that we needed to do, but we don't have any spare trucks on hand. So we were having to rob the DPW truck and leave him at the office while she went and took his truck. So we're kind of thinking that maybe we get something just used, has, you know, maybe some miles it is, just to kind of run around town, do the meter reading. If the Bolt is worth something, go ahead and sell it, use that money to go towards this truck. If it's not really worth selling, then maybe we would keep it to run the samples to Centerville every week, or if we have to go pick up a part in Des Moines, we can save money by driving it versus the car. The gas department, in their request was a back trailer. After further discussion today with Todd and Rusty and Khalid, we kind of talked through, we could, instead of purchasing one, we could rent one for a year when we do need it. If it's in a place that we can't get the jetter truck to see, does it really warrant purchasing? Do we use it enough or have a need for it to spend the $125,000? Not quite sold on that. The sewer department would like to cover up. There are some pipes and different stuff on the side of the building that they're looking to maybe put a lean-to or a cover over. We would do that ourselves. If we decide to go that route, they're estimating $2,000. The sewer department is also asking for the mower that we've kind of talked through the last couple of years. The estimate that the lower of the two estimates that came through is $35,000. The concern there is that maybe it's not as safe on some of the slopes with some of the equipment that they have been using over the years. So they would like us to reconsider the mower. The fire department, there's a request for a Ford F-250 with the lights and everything. It's my understanding that even if you decided on it this year, it's not going to be paid for this year because it's a little ways out. The inside floor drain would estimate about $50,000 to repair it. And then the concrete apron is back in there for a request at $125,000. Then down below, I just listed to keep in mind that here's some of the things. I'm working on a capital improvement plan right now with our equipment because we don't have anything in place so that we can start to cycle through some of our fleet and our equipment and have a plan down. Because right now it seems like we have some years where we need a lot of stuff. We have some years where we don't need as much. So I have asked all the departments to send over their equipment listing and their trucks and make and mileage and, you know, what's the status, what needs replaced sooner rather than later, and try to get on a rotation like we do with the police department so that we can just set aside X amount of dollars every year and cycle through some of that. So the jetter truck, it looks like a used one is around $250, a new one's north of $500. Don't need to replace that this year, but kind of just keep that in mind. Parks, the second truck, when we get Robbie's, and then his old one will go to the second guy that we'll be hiring here in the next probably 30 to 60 days, but it is two-wheel drive and old, so that will probably need to be cycled through in the next 3 to 5 years. The digger truck, we are looking to maybe replace that in the future as well, but we will be going with a used one, not a new one, but I wanted to put that in there so you guys know how much it is. Bucket trucks, we just got 2 new ones, but keep in mind when we go to buy the next round, they are 5 years out, so we need to just keep that on our radar so that obviously we don't need any this year, but before whatever year we're going to start to trade those in, we'll need to make sure we plan 3 to 5 years. The substation review, it's gonna cost about 50,000 for the company to come in and tell us what needs to be repaired and in what steps, kind of get a master plan like we did with the sewer department. The gas truck is 20 years old, the water truck's 24, so those would probably be some of the trucks in the next rotation, not this year, but going forward, those will probably be one of the two or both that we would cycle out first just because of age, and then eventually another DPW truck. So, like I said, I'm just looking for some guidance. Is there anything in particular you want to talk through? We are sitting at a $12 million budget after projects, and I also dug into our debt this week as I was going through the budget, and I contacted USDA because we do have two larger loans that we took out back in 2015 and 16, and we're not really getting anywhere on the principal. So I do want to, as part of my plan, we have a streets project from 2014 that will be paid off this coming fiscal year. And then I would like to take all that money and put it towards these USDA loans and start to tackle those as well. So, as you can tell, I put in what's already in the budget. That's already figured within the 12 million, but I need you to give me some direction on the stuff that's noted in red, please.
Who helps Robbie out at Parks and Rec?
Nobody other
You
than,
don't have a designated number two person?
not really. No,
Okay.
if he needs help, we try to have one of the utility guys or the streets guys go over and help.
Well, we would probably keep the old truck that he's driving now.
Oh yeah, we're gonna keep that until it dies. Yeah. It's just 2-wheel drive and it's pretty old as well. But yeah, we'll keep it for now. It's just keep that in your radar that going forward, we'll need one at some point. Probably.
We listed one for the gas and one for the water and one for DPW, but not for sewer or for parks.
Yeah, it says park second truck, right
I don't
above.
See a dollar amount there.
That's because it's a 3 to 5 year out and we don't know what we would
Okay,
even
so
buy
we're
yet.
not- Okay,
Nope, so you're just looking at everything above that green highlighted mark there.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. I kind of put them in the order of necessity according to what I think. I think the park shop is the biggest,
I think so too.
so we have somewhere to go.
We're probably looking to hire another parks person anyway, so I don't think we need to get out of the cemetery building and get our own park shed to store our mowers, everything. There's actually 75,000 at the top. There's actually a building that maybe is only 10 feet high versus 12. It's like 50. So we're talking 50 to 75,000 right in there, for that.
Hey, Tommy Joe.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm missing it, but was that just on a print copy or was it emailed as well?
No, it was not emailed. I'll send it to you right now. Sorry.
Okay.
And I also like, if you go down to the gas there, Rusty may disagree, whatever, but I don't like spending 125,000 on something we've never had before. Somehow we've gotten by for 100 years here without a back trailer.
We said the
But,
same thing.
you know, next time we need something like that, let's rent one and see what the guys think, you know, I mean. I'm afraid that's 125,000 used one time a year and we store it in a garage somewhere.
Absolutely. I don't disagree. It's one of those things that, how much would we use it? And if you own it, then you gotta maintain it, you gotta store it, you gotta pay insurance on it. So yeah, and I said the same thing today to Tommy Joe. I said, how, we've gotten by this long without it. The back truck is larger. That's the biggest issue with the back truck. It weighs about 50,000, where a back trailer would weigh about 10. So you could get off the road in a few places that the other truck couldn't. But yeah, how many times a year would we actually use it? So that's what our suggestion. Like, why can we try to rent one every time we need it and see how many times we use it in a year?
Like, what is well, the lean-to is only 2,000. What is it actually covering up? Is it?
Jeremy has his
you know.
excess sewer pipe is on would be the north side of his big shop. And it just lays on the ground on a wooden rack and it kind of gets in the sunlight. So we talked about possibly covering it. It does discolor the pipe. And I've not really heard from anybody that it actually deteriorates the pipe, but that was our concern. We have a stockpile there and we just don't want it to if the sunlight deteriorates it, then we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. So if we just spend a
Pipe
little
goes in the
bit.
ground, right?
What's that?
The pipe goes in the ground, right?
Yes, it does.
So if it turned purple, we don't really care. It's covered up.
As long as the discoloration is not.
Not-
Yeah, before we ever-
We haven't, that's only.
The water pipe is actually out in the shed. We have that shed out in the industrial park, so the water stuff we keep inside. So, yeah, that's not a big deal if we choose to leave it just like it is.
So before they kind of decide, is there a dollar figure here? You're the money lady. I mean, if they said we wanted it all and it was 600,000, or are you saying, no, Chris, with the two projects, the two big, the sports court and the other one really only leaves us 150,000. You kind of really need to decide. I mean, is there a number you want to tell these
I mean,
council people that, while, we don't want to write a check out for 800,000, we want to write a
Yeah,
check
no.
out for 150,000 or something.
yeah, or less, 100 to 150, I would maybe look at. I wanted to get the whole budget entered just so I could see, could we keep it at the 12 million before we look at this other stuff? There might be a little to spare. I put in 425 per side, but we don't have final numbers on the sidewalks. So I would say with those, with the projects, I wouldn't do anything other than the sidewalks and the sports court because it might leave you a little cushion or your cushion's gone, depending on how much the lights and the poles and everything is. So if it were up to me, I put what was in the budget that I know we gotta do. If it were my decision, I would say park shop and then the rest to me is more negotiable. But
Jeff, would you, I know what a truck is, but can you talk a little bit more about like the drain? What's
There's a
happening?
drain that runs clear across the fire station. And when it was built, it wasn't built correctly. So when the trucks are pulling over it, it's actually sinking down. The sand is washing away from it. As far as the apron,
To fix that, you have to tear up the
we'll
whole.
have to tear out that old drain. And when I explained to Tommy,
concrete to get to it.
right,
Okay.
and I explained to Tommy Joe, what we could do is the two numbers that you see on there are 5 years old. So I'm gonna guess that front apron's gonna be closer to $250,000 and that other one. So we're watching it, believe me, we're watching it. We can get by. We could scrap the drain and the apron this year and try to get some better quotes, and we'll just keep an eye on it a little bit better. As far as the truck, I told Tommy Joe, I don't need new. I've seen some really nice 2019s and 18s out there in a 3/4 ton that don't need a ton. We're just looking for something. We've lightened up our trailers so that a 3/4 ton will get us the equipment to the scene that we need. So I saw a nice one.
So what do we use now? I mean, are we replacing the truck?
No,
You're replacing, you driving your own truck?
I've been using mine, or Brett uses his, or
Okay.
whoever shows up that has a big enough truck to tow the trailer.
Okay, all right.
But the drain and the apron are probably projects that need to be taken off and set upside till we get a better idea of the price and what we're tying into. Because that front apron is 10-inch concrete out front. And we haven't lost a truck yet, but it might be something we can drill a hole and pump some of that stuff that you lift up the concrete to fix that. But those two things can be taken out real easy.
So if the council was to talk about a truck, you don't need an F-250 or you do need it?
Need a 3/4 ton, and it doesn't have to be a Ford, it could be a GMC, it could be a Chevrolet,
But just like, I drive a Silverado 3/4
Yep.
ton. I mean.
something like that.
Okay, all right. Well, there's a big difference between,
Yeah,
My
when we
truck
first
is
started talking about all
95,000.
this stuff, and they said.
you could probably buy a 3/4 ton for 40 to 50. That's got probably fairly low miles on it.
Right,
You
by
know.
the time you put the topper and the lights on, you're gonna be, instead of 95,000, you're probably closer to the 65,000, so you're saving 30,000. When we start talking about this, we're under the impression, or I was under the impression, for the people telling me I could get a USDA loan, and based on our poverty level, that they would cover 75%. Well, it don't work that way. We only get 15% because we make too much money. So that's why we had talked about this last year. It's just like, I can drive used. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Thoughts? I mean, I'll give you my thoughts if you want.
I guess, are you asking us to approve these for purchase tonight?
She's kind of asking you to give her a guidance of the
More of
ones
a
that you would.
Overall dollar amount, or yeah, if there's anything you're
There's not enough
against.
information here to give an approval to purchase.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking, like I said, I put the 30,000 in, the 75 for the police car and the 40. And just kind of wanted to give you what the department requests were. Not,
Didn't we just buy new police cars or
we do one every year.
one every year?
Yeah, so they rotate like every
That was
6
a
or so.
year since we traded cars.
Yeah,
Or more.
Yeah.
It's been more than God.
yeah,
Since you drove down to
yeah.
Missouri,
Tennessee.
Tennessee,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's been a year.
You still
Yeah.
have the can.
Been over a year. Still having nightmares of it.
So no, I mean, it's more like an overall dollar amount, like, you know, like I said, I put the 75, the 30 and the 40, that's already part of the 12 million. Is there anything under there that we need to decide? I can put a dollar amount in the budget and then you still have to decide later if you're gonna buy something.
Right, that's.
So,
just-
yeah, I'm not-
Asking for an approval to actually, let's
No.
purchase the park shop.
No.
Let's purchase.
No, it's more of like an overall dollar amount, you know, if you wanna say, let's reserve 100 grand next year for equipment, then I would put that in there, but then as people requested it, it would still have to come to council and say, hey, of that 100, could we use, you know, 35 for this mower or 2,000 for the lean-to or, you know, et cetera.
Well, even if we put $100,000 in, like the shop is gonna be 75,000.
Yeah.
So that's gonna eat most of that budget anyway.
And that's if you choose in the next fiscal year to do that.
You're talking about 24, 25, or 25, 26.
25, July of 24 to June of 25.
FY 25.
And if there's a certain dollar amount, I mean, I can set it aside, but like I said, if something happens, you would still have to decide too, okay, are we in fact gonna use some of that money to build that shop, or are we going to get a truck for the fire department instead? Like, it still comes back to you, but just looking for some direction
Oh,
or maybe.
I just want to put this out there and then you guys make the decisions. But in my opinion, I think that we should build a shop, 75,000 tops. We should do the lean-to. That's 77,000. I think we should allocate Jeff to look for a new truck. Let's say we put a cap of no more than 50 to 60. And then I think you should do the same on the park second truck, and then you can eliminate the problems that the meter readers run into. And they can use that second truck in the winter, because we're not doing a lot of park things in the winter. And then you can also probably sell this Volt for anywhere from
I think it'll
2
bring.
to 10,000. I don't know what this thing's going for, and that's gonna pay down that as well. So if you did that, you're looking at about 175,000 to tell Tommy Joe to put in there. And it was 165. Okay.
That's kind of what I came up with.
You know, that's just my opinion, guys and gals.
Are we gonna need the park truck to be as big as the fire department truck?
No, sir. Well, Bobby's got his truck in order now that's already been in the budget's been approved. We're just waiting on it. Close to 2 years. I
Well,
believe,
that
on
second truck can be a used truck.
It's gonna be-
They're
it's gonna be-
That's what I was gonna say.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be-
yeah, it won't be anything
Right now.
now.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, we won't even buy the second.
Because if
one.
you
That's
hire a
just gonna
second
be-
person, you're probably going to, that second person always isn't gonna just go with Robbie and we need one.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta divide and conquer and get this.
Bobby price now will be that second truck until years down down the road we get into this.
Okay,
rotation.
so,
I don't know.
So what do you think the second, the price of the second part truck would
Well,
be?
we've not even looked on because
Honestly, still don't know how
obviously
much-
truck gets here that we've already ordered. Basically paid for in your budget, then the second guy will drive the truck Robbie drives now. He's got.
So we don't need the second.
So we won't even buy one. This is for the rotation.
Don't look at anything under the
Okay, so really you don't need that.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, well.
That's just keep that in mind
so
in your
really they don't
radar.
need the second. The 7 green is just keep in mind, we're not talking.
For the next 3 to 5
So
years.
really, if you take that out,
I was counting that.
Beyond
We
next
weren't
year.
either.
Yeah, everything below that is in the next 3 to 5 years, I would
Okay,
say.
that helps.
Well, I think Chris's number of 175,000 should be able to get some of this stuff done and give us that direction anyway. And we still have to approve it. You know, if it turns around and it comes in way over what we thought, then you backpedal.
I was thinking 150. Because if you're talking like high end on that shop, I mean,
I think 150 is better because you're gonna go 75
because
and then you're gonna go on maybe on the fire truck, maybe you go 60, that's 135. I talked about the lean-to for a couple. I don't think we need a $35,000 mower to mow what we're mowing now, but I could be wrong there. And Jeff already said the other two, we probably need to study those a little bit more before we just allocate money and have people come in and start tearing up concrete.
and I would think if you really shop for a truck, you can find one for less than 50. I was just truck shopping in the past year.
The truck's not the problem, it's the lights and the radios, so that's.
And you guys can't install like any, or you'd have to buy new, to install that.
Yeah.
You would install it, or that would be a hired
Have to be
install,
done.
It's hired.
hired done.
I will speak to the sewer mower request at the next council meeting. I've got some literature and done some studying on it. And the two that we have are 20 years old. And they're gonna be,
Cashed out,
what's that?
they'll be cashed out.
Yeah, they're
Better
old for a
up.
mower. It's pretty,
I don't know.
I'll have some information at the next meeting. And do you want our suggestions at the next meeting then?
I don't even know what piece of equipment. I just need to know like the cushion. Do you want 150 in there? Well, if you don't spend it, you don't spend it. I just want a not to exceed number.
75. You just hit on a key thing. If we don't spend it, we don't spend it.
Yep, I just would like a not to exceed to throw in the budget, please.
I was actually looking at 165, so throwing another number, because I'm looking at the park shop, the lean-to and Jeff's truck, but I also wanted to see some money in there so that we can explore renting the vac trailer. So at least we can have funds there to rent it when we need it, just to see how much do we need and how often do we use it? And which is the better deal, to rent it or to buy one.
Right.
So I think we should have some funds available for that. So I was thinking 165, just to kind of give it, what we spend.
So I've had the luxury of buying a lot of houses this way. So you're 165, you're 170. Can we just meet in the middle of 170? Usually get a
That's my
signature.
final offer.
Okay.
Well, he was 150. I thought I was in the middle.
Well, he's out. He's bought a lot of houses. He wants to buy them at 150 like, he wants to buy them at 150 like I do too.
I'm thinking budget, so I must be the cheapskate here.
Well, I was adding the rental, which none of you spoke about. That's why I got the extra in there. So
It's a guidance
But
program.
I
You don't
was-
spend it. you
I
don't
was
spend it.
told cut down on spending, so,
I agree.
but. here we
So
go.
is the steps.
Any more on that one?
No, no,
Okay.
just looking for an overall number.
Okay, thank you.
It's helpful.
Approved Class B retail alcohol license for Bloomfield BP Oil.
Motion to approve,
Second,
Don,
yes.
Josh,
yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Earl,
No,
Jake,
Yes.
Public comments tonight.
I thought the street department did a really good job. They stealing your thunder, but they did a really good job cleaning it out. And I only heard one person say they thought that somebody had a skid loader or something on the new sidewalk on the south. I don't know if that's true or if somebody just said something.
It's true.
We need to.
Not on the
Address.
south, not on the south.
Oh, okay. I don't know how we,
Northwest side.
Karen had an excellent article a couple weeks ago about how we're supposed to care for these sidewalks, and business owners need to cut that out and take it by their cash register or something, because we don't want to have to go replace the bricks this time of year in this kind of weather. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, we talked with him that very
I
day.
have no idea who it was, but somebody just asked me, said, I didn't think we were supposed to have equipment on that sidewalk.
He's very nice about it.
We called him
Good.
called
Okay.
him that day. and
Told
talked
him
with
if he wanted to go ahead and get a head start on the west and the north side, knock yourself out.
Put him over there. Yeah.
He went,
I would just
he went over there.
elaborate that I actually had a call today. Gayla's husband, who walks many miles in town, and said, very proud of the way the streets look. Not only the emergency routes, the side streets are as good as they can be considering the storm that we got.
Yeah.
And, he wanted me to pass that on because he wasn't gonna be here, so I'm glad I did. I called the city workers out on the line. I told them doing a great job. When I seen them, I told them a lot of countless hours, because I was uptown a lot of times trying to keep my walk clean throughout the night, and they were gangbusters. I also heard from, I think either Zach or maybe it was Jacob that said that people really did a very good job with the snow ordinance being called. They were off the street.
They did. No cars.
Especially the first storm, maybe the second storm, they got a little lax. I don't know. I actually had a person ask me where they were supposed to park because their car got towed. So I was glad, not for them, but I was glad to hear that we were doing our job. That, you know, if you're in the way, get them off the street. So that's good to know when you guys are noticing that when you're driving around the middle of the night, people got them up in the yard, I guess. So.
Guys, when that was all going on, I opened up the fire station, tried to make sure they had hot food and refreshments inside there, place to go in. They came in through the night. They were very happy. And I know the one night I left a couple of pies in there. They weren't there the next
They
morning.
Cold storage and they were gone.
So thank
They,
you.
they did a real good job, because usually they come down Carr Street and they pushed it into my driveway. In the past, they didn't do that this year. I don't know, the guys must like me better.
They don't charge extra for that.
Yeah, yeah.
All
And your
right.
equipment held up well, I'm told. I visited the shop on Friday and everything was
Yeah.
under control and going all right.
I'm glad our truck started.
They started,
Saturday didn't start very good.
I think they pushed from Monday night through Wednesday night, maybe Thursday morning, and then had Thursday to basically recoup and check things over, check equipment over, and then right back out of Friday and all
Yeah.
weekend. And I don't think they stopped until Monday. And even during the day, they was hauling snow off. And yeah, they everybody made remarks about the police getting the cars off the square, which makes it so much nicer.
Oh,
that
it
they
does.
can get the square clean. So that worked out really good. Every guy we have outside was pushing snow. They all was on board with it. And the girls up front helped us a ton because we had people calling in with power outages, with lines down, and trees in the road from the heavy snow, and they all took good listing for us and took care of us that way. So we didn't have to write stuff down the truck. We could stop in and get it. So yeah, it was definitely really nice to see everybody work together.
Good teamwork.
It was, and everybody in town, the same thing. I mean, kudos to the citizens for helping us and trying to get out of the way.
All righty. Tommy Joe,
I don't have anything else.
Rusty.
That was pretty much it. I was gonna talk about snow. It looks like they're out pushing. I just sent them out again, so they're out pushing again, and hopefully this won't turn into what the first two days.
Did I hear that a couple of our new lights got hit?
Pardon?
I thought I read somewhere where a couple of our new lights got hit on the square.
I hadn't heard that yet.
Is that the square base or the round base?
I'm hoping.
Well,
I-
funny that
We
you
don't
say
have
that.
We don't have any square base.
No, they're all
Funny
round.
that you
They're
say
all-
that. The supplier wanted to know if our bases were in with the concrete flush or if somebody hit it, would they hit the base? Because we were trying to figure out if, are they indeed supposed to be round under, square. One did get hit and is no longer there out front of the grain bin, but it was an old,
It's
light.
Okay.
it is not a new light.
I just heard a light got hit and then people were saying that was a new light.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Like,
no, it was an old one. So,
Insurance replace that then?
we're gonna sure ask. Not our insurance, their insurance.
Somebody,
Yes,
so yeah.
not ours.
I was going to try to refrain from saying anything about that subject, but
Yeah.
if those pedestal that those square bases rest on were 3 inches above the sidewalk. When they got hit, it wouldn't hit the light pole and break it, because those poles are gonna get broken.
Somebody's insurance will pay for that.
That's right.
Tammy, are you on? No Tammy tonight. Don, you got anything more?
No, sir, I'm done.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I heard you had a question, and I was all ready for it. About, handicap parking.
In the center of the road, if it was ADA
Well, we
compliant.
talked about that last week.
Yeah, you want Gayla to research it. You'd ask,
Oh, okay, go ahead. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I did.
He thinks
So
it's
what did you find
illegal.
out? I think you gotta have a sign on pole.
Well, I think you're right. And I was thinking I was gonna get to the spot, we didn't have to say that, but the public right-of-way accessibility guidelines that took effect in October of 2023 have all these regulations about parking on block perimeters versus parking not on block perimeters. And I'm like, oh, this may be the way we're gonna be able to get around this. But even when you get to it, it says perpendicular and angled parking spaces shall comply with R 310-5. And R 310-5 says perpendicular or angled on-street parking spaces shall be identified by signs displaying the international symbol of accessibility complying with R 411. The signs shall be located at the head of the parking space. Signs shall be 60 inches minimum above the ground surface measured to the bottom of the sign. Yada, yada, yada.
So is those
It sounds like
spots,
the government.
so is those spots going to be permanent, or they're only temporary until?
When we put the new streets in, right now, the reason they had to move them was because the slope of that concrete is above grade. It's too steep for ADA compliance grade on the curb in this concrete. So when we redo the streets, we can mill that down and make that the proper grade, and then we can move them if we so choose. But did we not change the ordinance on that?
no, we haven't. However, when I had discussed it with, the people that painted it and the engineer, we can let them know that there was this change in October. They were reading it as if you have an angled parking up against the curb, which we do, you would have to have it, but you can't have a sign in the middle. And, neither one were aware that we couldn't have them if something had changed. And I just told them that if we found out that we couldn't have them, we would call them and let them know, and then there won't be any at the moment.
Why do we have parking in the middle of the street anyhow? Why don't we have lower handicap parking up next to the curb?
Because the slope is a.
The slope of the sidewalk is an issue right now from the building doors to the slope to the parking lot because of the way that our roads are as well. It's too steep for ADA compliance. So until we mill the road down and
You
make
gotta
the slope
comply one
different.
way or the other. I would rather have parking up next to the curbs so people can get out of their van with
Well-
lifts on them and get on the sidewalk easier than out in the middle of the street.
Well, I'm guessing we're not gonna have any, it sounds like, for
Well,
now, till next,
And I think
after next year.
That's a bigger problem. So, I mean, I'd rather go with no sign, blue
Leave as is.
lines, access aisles, that sort of stuff. Because putting a sign in the middle of the street.
No, I'm not talking about
It's not gonna
signs on the
happen.
street,
Right.
signs up.
Right,
next to the
and
curbs.
we will get there, but we are definitely not compliant in terms of being able to get those people up to,
Okay.
so.
We will get to what we had and what you like, but it's at least a year out when we do the square, the paving project and stuff. Then at that time, they would go back to the way they were, because it would be the right mill.
We're still under
So
construction.
you're kind of advising just to leave as is for right now.
Well, I haven't looked, but I mean, my hope would be that we
Nobody's been
have, have blue markings or some of the.
We do.
The stuff.
We have the blue markings, but
Looks-
yes.
And you got your aisle and as long as you do all those
Not that,
things, I
I should earlier.
think we can say we're doing what we can
In
and
progress.
the grade issue is, or slope issue is a bigger concern
Right.
generally.
That was the way it was addressed to us from the engineers that were on site with the ADA components is what they.
Which, I mean, I don't dispute that. It's just when you read all the regulations
Right.
and once they start talking about you're away from that curb and some additional parking kind of in the middle, I'm like, yes, they're setting us up to let us do some stuff, but the language doesn't say that.
Yeah.
So,
We'll just watch it for, yeah.
yeah, and I think if we have any concerns raised, then we try and identify if there's any other thing that we could do to make it more accessible.
Thank you. If nobody else has any other council updates?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I attended a DC Regional Service Agency meeting yesterday. There was a whopping 4 people there, including myself. We didn't have a lot on the agenda. There were a couple things though. The next scheduled waste management increase is scheduled for 2025. It was like, if I remember right, is 1.25%, and that contract is up in 2026. So we'll have to go back to the table at that time. And then they talked about their budget. I believe that they had like $1,600 in their budget for that board, which there's not any reason to have a budget for that board, and we talked about that. And then the interesting thing was they had what did I tell you? $116,000 worth of CDs. They have no idea where that money came from. I know that a few of the Ron Bride didn't know where it came from. It's always been there.
Overcharged us 20, 30 years ago.
Is that the, okay. So it's up to 116,000. Until recently, it was growing at 0.25% interest. And then they renewed the CDs on those. And now it's growing at 4.08 interest. So I inquired how much it grew in the past month, and it increased almost $400 just in the past month. And then there was there was a suggestion by one of them to disperse that money to the communities such as Drakesville, Pulaski, Bloomfield, is Forest in there too? I'm not sure.
I think so.
Yeah, so I like that interest rate a lot better than 0.25. And I suggested since they put it in a new CD at that interest rate, and that's a pretty lucrative interest rate, to let that money sit for as long as possible, as long as the interest rates are like that. And in the next meeting, they're going to discuss what to do with that money. They really don't have a need for those funds. So, but
You may see it for that. See, Waste Management really has us by the you-know-what, because they own that building out there. So my first thing would be, if you ever decided to go away from Waste Management, and they attempted to do that like 8 years ago, and for good reasons, they did it.
Yes.
But you would need to build that. I mean, I'm not sure why that building, why we do not, the county, county, city don't own that building.
We
Because
talked about that
you
building.
can
I think
never
that building's
change the
privately owned.
contractor. I mean, they own that. I mean,
They don't own the building, they rent the building.
I thought they owned that, you
No,
know.
because that came up in the meeting as well. That's owned by, they had a name and I had it written down. That building is owned and Waste Management that uses it. They talked about using the money to put a concrete drive to that building.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of heavy trucks that use that road. And gravel's a better option going into that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but that money is sitting there and that explains it. So
Is that still a paid meeting?
I actually thought in my head that you would probably know where that money came from because you just,
Like,
Ms.
call the
Ron
bank,
Wright
they'll trace it.
commented that it's
Yeah.
been there for 14 years and I was thinking in my head, Earl's been around longer.
Yeah, I think the account that has $1,000 some in it, they used to pay you to go to that meeting.
They-
They still?
They do. It's like,
It's like
yeah,
$12 a minute.
It's pretty, yeah, it's like
Yeah,
$12.
But they
So,
used to take that out.
You have to attend 2 meetings
Yeah.
before you get paid.
Yeah, yes.
Stevens owns that building.
Yeah, Stevers owns the building. That was that.
There used to be a
Yes.
fee that we had to pay to be a member of that, and it was, and at one time, we're going, what? And so that's how that money accumulated.
Yeah, so, and I asked Vaughn how much it was 14 years ago, and he said that it was right around 100,000. So gaining at that point, 25% interest is 10,000. But I think in the future, a 4% interest, that's pretty good.
You better leave it alone.
So, yeah, and
Worry about it when it
there's
gets to
another CD
200,000.
that's low that's set to expire. That They're talking about renewing at the high interest rate too, higher interest rate. So, but
Okay,
I have one thing there.
yeah, go right ahead.
4A, since we didn't have that public hearing, Tyler and I were out in the hall. We talked about, setting a new public hearing on, Roman numeral 4A for February 1st.
Need a motion. for that?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to reset the public hearing for 4A on February 1st.
second,
Nicola,
Yes.
John,
Yeah.
Kate,
Yes.
Josh,
yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
And we don't need a public hearing on 4B. I just need to get the paperwork for the property owners to.
Anything else?
I'll make to adjourn.
Second.
okay, Jennifer,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Earl.
Yep. Back up, see how much we got left on the property.